Hello and welcome to New York University. My name's Sean Mulligan and I'm a graduate of the first Science and Environmental Reporting program here at NYU. Behind me is where it all started, at the Meyer Hall of Physics here in Washington Place, the NYU campus. The program was started over 25 years ago by Professor Bill Burrows in the wake of the 3 Mile Isle incidents and his perceived need for better science reporting in the community. What started back then has grown, thrived, and evolved over the years to become the preeminent program that it is today. Thanks for joining us. And now, from the urban campus of NYU to the leafy north woods of Stamford, Connecticut, we take you to Professor Bill Burrows' home.
Hi! It's Mom! 400 reporters went down to cover 3 Mile Island in Harrisburg, and about 3 of them, as I recall, knew how a reactor worked. And they were giving chalk talks in the local Holiday Inn to all of their colleagues. Well, there's this vessel, you see, and you've got radioactive stuff, they call it uranium, and it makes water, blah, blah, blah. So I get this idea. Start a program where you take people with science backgrounds and teach them journalism.
SHERPies come from all over the place geographically and ideologically, and they have different backgrounds and different strengths. SERPies are working at all kinds of magazines, from Popular Science to Scientific American to Time, and working for National Public Radio, working for CNN.
I'd never talked to a male professor before who wanted to be called Mom. But it makes sense. We do have a large family, and Bill has definitely been at the head of it.
I can't tell you how great it feels for me as a writer to get an email back from somebody I've interviewed, a scientist, saying, you know, I really, really appreciate how thoroughly you were able to describe my work. And I feel like I have a leg up because I went to SERP in getting that science right.
The criteria for the best science journalism will always be the same, and that is an aggressive pursuit of evidence, a clear-headed analysis of that evidence, and a coherent report.
The whole secret of the program is united home-like. If I figured early on, if you have got 15 people in a class and they're going lockstep through an 18-month program and they don't like each other or there are jealousies, it's over. They better get along.
I come from a newsroom culture which is much more about competitiveness and it's much more about sort of you know, just thinking about yourself and trying to get ahead in the organization, and you know, the way you do that is through great journalism. But it's a different way of thinking than what Bill has created at SERP, which is much more of a cooperative model, you know, where people work together. Bill is really right that if you can build that family atmosphere, it's a wonderful thing. It creates a real coherence and great journalism.
Don't scare the hell out of people. Create a family nurturing atmosphere. Enjoy it. And let's be supportive. And it's worked.
You know, I'm still in contact with many of my classmates. You know, I have both friendships and working relationships with them. And Chad and Vigil got married, so it must have, you know, it was good that they got to know each other too.
That's what makes the program what it is. You've got human beings there, not automatons.
The networking, like the family environment of the program has benefited me the most. I've gotten 2 of my jobs through, not directly through SERP contact or SHERP contacts, but you know, hearing about them through that way. And then now that I assign stories, I assign stories to SHERPies fairly often.
I use my classmates here as as freelance correspondents, and I'm always I'm always keen to use somebody from the program because I kind of know what to expect from them. I know what I can't expect from them.
Bill found a formula that he liked, and he stuck with it. Bill has always been incredibly supportive of new ideas. He always wants to know all about them, and he wants to talk about them, and rightly so. He doesn't believe in change just for its own sake, but he is not resistant to change that there's a good argument for.
I love the program so much, I want it to succeed. And if you love the program so much that you want it to succeed, you've got to know when you're turning into well-meaning dead wood. Okay? And that's what I saw happening. Dan has got a new idea, and a good one, every 5 minutes. So he's totally revamping the program. He's a natural successor. He's very bright, and we've got a great relationship. SHERP has replaced SERP because, as Dan points out, health reporting is now extremely important. I've had a few SERPies say, well, they object to that because now I don't want to be a SHERPie, I want to be a SERPie. And I always say, but Sherpas are guides. You know, adapt or die.
I never really say SHERP. I don't really have a problem with the H being in there. I think it's probably a good move. But,
it just doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, yeah. I'm a SERPie.
You know, a lot of newspapers, including our own, don't even have an environmental reporter anymore. So if the idea is to train students for the marketplace, it's probably a good idea to have a background also in health, health writing and health reporting, as well as science and environment, because that's really where the jobs are.
I was initially against it just because, tradition. But that said, SHERP sounds less gastronomic.
So we're here at 20 Cooper Square, which is the new headquarters of NYU journalism. As you can see, it's a heavy construction project, but it's an amazing facility with TV studios and radio studios and avid editing machines all over the place. We think that's really important because if the future of our business is going to be mirroring, converging audio, video, and the web together. We're already making a start of that with Science Line, the SHERP webzine, which has been incredibly successful. It's done entirely by the students, and it gets about 1,500 hits a day, so we're really proud of that.
Science Line is a wonderful addition. To be able to publish your clips instantaneously and be able to take them to a place where you're interviewing to get an internship or polls, and there's a lot of interesting things going on there. I think that it's very helpful to have that.
It's funny walking into this building today and seeing all the computers and the technology and the video studios and all that stuff. My first memory walking into the newsroom at the time, which was in the old building, and seeing typewriters. This was in 1989. This wasn't, the 60s. This was, for some reason, Bill Burrows wanted us to learn how to report on manual typewriters. And I had actually never even used a typewriter before.
Get the story. Ask questions. What's really going on here? Why did you do that? What does it mean? Who else can I talk to? What's the competition? That's what makes a good story. And I've got to say, this is my religion.
I remember, I think like the third story we wrote for his class, I buried the lead, or I buried the news peg, like in the second paragraph, and I got an F. And because that was the automatic F for burying the peg, and I don't do that anymore. So.
Bill reminds me of a very large bulldog, but a friendly one.
The greatest pleasure, the most enduring, deepest pleasure of doing what I do is when it comes full circle. I've had students who I have, obviously many of them, who I've taught about space. Taught about space. Then I turn on space.com or other outlets, and there are my beloved SERPies teaching me about space. When I turn space.com on, I'm getting news from Tariq Malik and others, my former students, and I'm reading this stuff about Mars or whatever it is, the station. They're now teaching me. It doesn't get any better than that. If you stop to think about it, it's the perfect circle.
Well, thanks for joining us on our trip down memory lane. We're glad you joined us today and are part of this 25th celebration. And if you're a student that's considering the program, I urge you to come on down, meet with the students, hear what they have to say, and be part of this great experience of science, health, and environmental reporting at NYU.
You have your hands in your pockets now, 'cause you don't know how to say goodbye. 'Cause baby, when you hit top speed, 25 years fly by like a time machine.
Hi, this is Jeremy Shute.
And this is Emily Driscoll. We're from SHERP 25, and we're happy to be working on this project with the new equipment.
And we're glad that you've been able to take this look at the generations of SERPs past, and hopefully SHERPs in the future will get an idea of what this is about.
Future SHERPies, this could be you one day.